Welcome back, Legion Freaks. Today I'm going to do a review on the first 2 episodes of the Loki series, now streaming on Disney+. I only have praise for the show, so you're not going to hear one bad thing out of my mouth. So let's get right into it. First thing I want to talk about, it's kind of more darker tone than the other 2 shows that we've seen before. This show it feels, to me, it's got like an X-Files type feeling to it. You don't really know what's going to happen. It's very sci-fi. It's just something we haven't dealt with yet in the MCU. We've not seen the TVA at all. And the TVA is this place that exists outside of existence, kind of, but is in the timeline. And the timeline is controlled by these guys. And basically, we don't know anything about them yet. And I say darker tone because right at the beginning we see there could be a couple Easter eggs. One, I thought I saw Peggy Carter walk through the door at one point, and 2, if I remember correctly, the guy in the very first episode that also gets arrested, gets fucking obliterated. I don't know if it necessarily resets him back to his timeline or not, but I almost positive he said he was the son of Thor, or he was a different version of Loki. I'm not sure which one they said. I didn't pay that much attention. I was kind of like in between doing something, and then I heard him say Odin's son or Thor's son, and I was like, wait, what? So there was that. Second thing I want to talk about is how the show took a smarter approach of using a more arrogant Loki than the one we saw at the end of Infinity War, because that Loki alone actually grew throughout each fucking movie and became more of a better person, even though he was still a dick. He still did some good things, and you could tell that he was starting to accept himself as like a good person, kind of. The relationship between him and Thor in Ragnarok was really great. Even when we see the scenes with Odin, you can tell that he's deeply hurt by the Odin's passing in that movie. So I thought that was really cool that we were getting this old Loki back. And there is some scenes where we see him start, like, you can tell he's got good inside of him. And Mobius, which is played by Owen Wilson, says the same thing. When we go back and watch his tape, he's heartbroken by his mother's death, which he didn't get to see because it happened in Thor: The Dark World, which was after Avengers. But he was deeply saddened by that, and then when he's going around, he watches his whole life up until it ends. And he gets all the way up to the part where he sees his dad die, when he's working with Thor, and then him saving Thor's life, and then Thor hanging over his dead body, and then that's when the tape ends, which means, I took it this way, it means he took, his last breath was when Thor was over top of him. So I don't know, I think that was kind of a cool relationship. And we're seeing more of an emotional side of this Loki that you can tell was not really given much love as a kid, other than his mom, and I think that's why he resented his dad in all the other movies, because he technically wasn't actually his son, he was the son of a frost giant. Third thing I wanted to talk about is how cool it is to see Tom Hiddleston's Loki and Owen Wilson's Morbius just going back and forth, basically being detectives. It feels like a weird X-Files type show. Like, it feels like they just took 2 random people and they're like, alright, let's make a new show and let's make them detectives. Now, I understand it's not going to be like that. It's not really like that. It's just, I think it's hilarious to see Lightning McQueen next to Loki. Ka-chow. There's another thing I caught that I thought was really cool, and it's a scene between Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston. They're sitting at a table in like a cafe or whatever, and he's talking about, well, how do you pick your own fate when fate's already decided for you in this timeline? And it's kind of like it's kind of a way of like questioning religion. It's well, I believe in my own fate. How can you believe that you're on a path set by somebody else? And basically it just comes to the fact that it's my beliefs. These are listed are the ways I believe it. If you don't believe it, that's fine. It's whatever. And I thought that was a really cool addition, because that makes perfect sense in this universe, especially with the TVA. That's not technically, because they were all created by the timekeepers. And the timekeepers are basically their gods, and they believe in their gods, and they've not seen anything else other than that. They just go and make sure the timeline's safe, no variants or strains pop off. And I think that was a perfect way to explain that. If they wanted to push anything into a show like that this would probably be the best show to do it in, because for one, they're talking about, because it starts out with Owen Wilson wanting to ride a jet ski. He was like, oh, in 1990 this perfect vehicle came out, and Tom Hiddleston's like, well, why don't you just go do it? He goes, because it's forbidden against the timeline, it could create strands. He's like, yeah, but you have a choice. He's like, I don't. And I don't know, I just found it really interesting that they all have to stay on this particular path, and if they don't, they become a variant and it screws up everything. It has to be reset. And the last thing I wanted to talk about today was the ending of episode 2. I didn't really go in depth of the episodes all across. I just talked about things I liked about both of them. If you've seen both of them, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. I believe the events at the end of episode 2 is going to be the thing that screws up everything across the MCU. I believe we're going to be seeing the after effects of this event into at least 2 movies, if not 3. And I'm going to give you reasons why right now. So with Loki's other variant, setting all the time charges off and making the timeline split, like stem everywhere, I think this is a way that we can get Spider-Man No Way Home, how we can get the Into the Spider-Verse live action. I think it makes perfect sense. If it doesn't happen, oh well, but this would be a really good way to go about it. I also think Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness, that's set up perfectly. He's going to be trying to go and fix every timeline, because, I mean, the TVA can't do it all by themselves. And if you think about it, I think about the only other person that can go to different realities would be Doctor Strange, using the Time Stone, if he gets the Time Stone back. And one other film that I think could fall into play, and I saw this theory earlier, and I remembered it before someone brought it up to me, and I was like, that's probably not it. But then other people were talking about it. The TVA could be in the quantum realm, because time moves differently there also. We do see a city in the back in Ant-Man and the Wasp. If you remember, if you don't remember, I'll explain it. In the very backdrop, you see a city, which looks very close to the city you see in the TVA on Loki. And what would be the perfect spot than the quantum realm, which they used in the last Avengers movie to go back in time? See what I'm saying? So, and the next Ant-Man movie is called Into the Quantum Realm, which could be them possibly going back and trying to reset things how they're supposed to be. Things could go out of whack, we don't know. Kang the Conqueror is supposed to be the villain of Quantum Mania, which is also a timekeeper. So there's a lot of things going on in the MCU right now, and I'm just so excited to see what happens. Mainly because we haven't had anything come out for we had COVID, and it screwed up a whole year for us. So everything got pushed back. So now I'm just like waiting to see all these things. And something else I think is funny is with Eternals. If you watch the trailer, the Eternals think, oh, we've known about everything. We see everything that goes on. We see the Avengers. But I don't think the Eternals have no fucking idea that they're set on this path by the TVA, and that's I find that hilarious. This is a small thing, but I found it funny. So, yeah, that was the explanation and review of my review on the Loki episodes. Disney did a really cool thing where they're releasing them on Wednesdays now. I think that's perfect because I don't like waiting till Friday. It doesn't really make a difference, but in the middle of the week, it's something for me to look forward to when I'm working and just want to sit down and watch something that I like. So, thank you, Disney. Before this video ends, guys, I want to say thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching the videos. I have an unboxing video coming out soon of the Mandalorian helmet, so be excited for that. I'll also be releasing some episodes kind of periodically, randomly throughout the weeks, so look for those. I want to thank everybody like Ringer Boy for helping me edit some of my videos. And then I want to say thank you to all the people that supported me on Twitch that came over to my YouTube channel. If you're not watching me on Twitch, I'm almost live every single day, usually in the afternoon, so make sure you go check me out. The link will be down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys.